This is the story of how Rome got its name. A long time ago, there was a king named Numitor who ruled an ancient city in Italy called Alba Longa. Numitor had a younger brother named Romulus, who one day overthrew Numitor and took over Alba Longa. However, as Romulus did not want to cause any conflict in future, he killed Numitor's male heirs and forced Numitor's only daughter, Rhea Silvia, to become a Vestal Virgin, so she could not marry or have any children of her own. Romulus was afraid that Rhea would have a son who would eventually overthrow him. However, Rhea Silvia fell in love with Mars, the Roman god of war, and they had twin sons. Rhea Silvia had betrayed her vows of being a Vestal Virgin, and the penalty was normally death. However, Romulus was afraid of the wrath of Mars and did not want to kill Rhea Silvia. So instead, the king imprisoned Rhea Silvia and ordered a servant to put the twins in the river Tiber. Romulus reasoned that if the twins were to die from the elements, the city would be saved from the angry god. When the servant reached the riverbank with the twins, he could not throw them in. He looked down at the babies sitting together in the basket. Their arms were wrapped around each other, and he thought about his own young sons. So instead, he put their basket into the river, and he let the current carry the basket away, hoping that somebody would find the twins and rescue them. Eventually, a compassionate she-wolf came across the basket in the river, and she pulled the babies out to safety. She cared for the twins and protected them from dangers such as other wild animals. A friendly and cunning woodpecker helped the twins to find food. Soon the twins were found by a caring shepherd who was out walking by the turbulent river. He took the twins back home, out of the howling winds of the night, to his wife in their cozy cottage. They decided to call the boys Romulus and Remus. The shepherd and his wife brought the twins up like their own children. Romulus and Remus grew up to become shepherds like their father. One day, while the twins were herding their sheep, they were met by shepherds of King Romulus, who started a fight with Romulus and Remus. Remus was captured by the shepherds and taken to King Romulus. Romulus watched as they took his beloved brother away. He was shaking uncontrollably. His cheeks had turned bright red, and he gritted his fierce teeth. He gathered a group of shepherds and set out to rescue Remus. King Romulus believed that Rhea Silvia's children were dead, so he didn't recognize Romulus and Remus. Romulus managed to free his brother, and in the process, he killed King Romulus. When the city found out who the boys were, they offered to crown them as joint kings. However, the twins turned down the crown because they wanted to find their own city. The twins left their hometown in search for a perfect place to build their city. Eventually, they came to the place where Rome is today. They both liked the general area, except they both wanted to build the city on a different hill. Romulus wanted the city to be on top of Palatine Hill, where Remus preferred Aventine Hill. They agreed to wait for a sign from the god Augury to determine which hill they should build their city on. Remus saw the sign of 6 vultures first, while Romulus claimed to have seen 12. Each claimed that they had won. Romulus ignored his brother and went on to build a wall around Palatine Hill. However, Remus was jealous, and he began to make fun of his brother. They ended up getting into a fight. Romulus killed Remus during the fight, and he was now to be the founder of his own city. With Remus dead, Romulus returned to where he started to build his wall on Palatine Hill and continued to build his city. He officially founded the city on the 21st of April, 753 BC, making himself king and naming the city Rome after himself. Then he began to organize his city. He divided his army into legions of 3,300 men. He called his 100 most noble men the patricians, and the elders of Rome the Senate. The city grew and prospered into one of the most powerful cities in the world, and would be for another 1,000 years.